As the liaison, I would like to nominate John Norman as a permanent member with a regular member, thank you, for a term to expire in 2010, based on our previous discussion.
All right.
Yep.
By
Okay.
Second.
Because that's the,
Okay, we don't need a second for a nomination. Councilor Garugo?
For the Zoning Board of Appeals, the following candidates: Ron Jansen.
I knew that.
Okay.
Second.
You don't need a second for a nomination.
Okay. Len Gobeal. And lastly, Ned Lynch, L-Y-N-C-H.
Okay, and you'll give,
Edward N. Lynch.
Edward F.
F. Lynch, thank you.
okay, you're going to need to,
Councilor Rugo making those nominations, just for the benefit of the record, so there's no misunderstanding going forward.
please, Councilor Mill.
These three individuals are being nominated for regular membership for a term to expire. Please fill in that blank.
2010.
No, there's three, I see three, 6/30/2011, and we're all three that the Creed and Hatfield and Norman are, so these would be,
Norman
similarly.
is an associate.
but-
an associate. That
So you
would
want
be the,
them to be,
that would be my final,
But if you have an
Edward
open
F.
term,
Lynch.
For point of clarification, Madam Chair of the Appointments Committee, it's my understanding that with the appointment tonight of a regular member, there is one opening for a regular member, and there
That's
are
correct.
two openings for associate members. Is that
That's
correct?
correct. There is one opening for a regular member, two openings for an associate member. Now,
we did Nick Atzel's for the associate.
if I may
Yeah,
finish,
but then
please.
these two
There's still two
I
openings.
think it would be helpful to the council
addition.
if Councilor Rugo is nominating people, that he be specific as to the date, the termination date that he's nominating them for, and to what positions, whether he's putting them
Certainly.
head-to-head in terms of regular or to fill the associate's
okay,
positions.
I think he understands that.
Okay, so that's all I would
Thank you.
suggest.
To correct, my intent was Ron Jansen and Len Gobeal for a term to expire 6/30/2011, and Edward F.X. Lynch as an associate member for a term to expire 6/30/2011.
Okay.
heard us explain before that the two
We're looking at
regular
reappointment.
member seats had an expiration of 2010, and using the memo.
Excuse
from
me,
the
Councilor
approval-
Mill, we're looking at, please, you keep interrupting me. We're looking at a reappointments list, and if some of these are voted in, then maybe there won't be reappointments. I think that's what I'm catching here. Am I guessing correctly? Yes, okay?
Well, I
So
was
this
taking,
is that's the way he just nominated, and
so
we're
what
gonna
is
have to
Mr.
deal with it
Norman's
in July.
nomination? Which seat is he being nominated
he's
to?
being nominated to a
Associate member,
full-time.
term expires
No,
6/30/2011.
I
You
made a
just-
nomination to change that.
Yeah, so you're
And-
nominating him to a full member.
To a full member, and point of clarification, that is the same that the Appointments Committee issued in their memo, to make
I think
Mr.
that
Norman a full member.
Councilor Rugo is looking at the fact that this is reappointments, as if I can understand what I'm hearing over here, so.
Thank you.
Okay. All right.
None of these,
Yeah, he didn't say
None
what they're
of-
going up against.
the current open seat, if I may, Madam President, the current open seat is for a term to expire in 2010. And with all due respect, with the intent of my colleagues, it is important to keep the dates in mind, because it allows for a normal flow
Okay.
of reappointments.
What
to
I'm
the-
understanding from listening to Councilor Rugo is he's saying, when he says 2011, he's looking at the fact that there are reappointments here. And this might be an alternate to a reappointment. Am I right?
I don't know what his intent is, but
Yeah, well,
if
the intent is it's
if
an
I may, if
alternative to-
Councilor Milne is nominating Mr. Norman, I can't speak to the others because I don't know the intent behind them, but if Councilor Milne is nominating Mr. Norman into a regular position, the only regular position is for a term to expire in 2010 that is
That's what-
open now.
That's what he had said, and we've got that all
He
set.
has to
Ladies and
change the
gentlemen-
end date.
Yes.
We're nearing the hour,
I know,
11
and
o'clock.
we have
Should,
some-
at this point, if we're going into executive session or something, that we should extend our time, or
I was hoping that we could get through the last of this before we do that, but...
It doesn't
President,
look that way.
I still have a point of order, Madam President.
Yes.
Is he just putting those names into nomination or
He
against
just
somebody?
nominated the way that you've
Well,
nominated,
right
the way
now we have
Councilman Milne-
individual seats that have been nominated, and he's only made
by
nominations.
using, I'm guessing
So are
that by
there two for
using...
one, or one for each, or 1 out of 5? I mean, just how did you, I mean, are we changing the order?
My intent is to, as an alternative, just like we did a minute ago, we would offer these names as an alternative to the nominating, the current nominations.
We had 1 for 1 a minute ago, and now are you making 1 for 1
Councilor
now?
Rugo,
I made 2 for
Let me
2.
solve a little bit of an issue here. You've got one of the people that you've offered 3.
What's he doing?
You've got 3 that are on reappointments and 1 open seat. So,
I failed to mention one that I would like to add for the open seat, as you mentioned Norman for that open seat, and I would nominate Ron Jansen for that open seat.
okay, and then the other 2 you are nominating to
The
same
011.
terms as the ones that were being reappointed, as the full members or associates.
I'm nominating,
There's 2 full members and there's an associate.
right, and I said
You
Ron
want Len
Jansen.
Gobeel and Edward Lynch as the full or associate?
I said Ron Jansen and Len Gobeel for the 011 as well, but I would
No,
add,
you want Ron Jansen, you just correct yourself to 210,
Yeah.
okay?
Yep.
So Len Gobeel, full, or do you want him to be
Full.
nominated for
Full.
full? And Edward Lynch as a full or an associate?
full,
Full, okay, so you've got 2 full.
and we need a 4th. I did, but I changed it.
Could we move forward with that? Could we see that on some type of slate so we can see what we're voting for, agreeing to moving
Well,
forward?
this is a first reading, you're gonna
I
get it,
understand
we're
that.
gonna put this
Will
all
we have
together.
time to look at that first before we know what right
We're
now,
gonna-
it looks like he's got 4 people running for 2 offices
Right.
without,
We're gonna
just
put this
best
all
one?
together tomorrow, and it will be ready for the next agenda,
will we
okay?
be able to get 2 votes in the next, when we actually do the election for the 4 people? I mean,
We're
that's...
gonna have to go through all of that with
Yeah.
the,
We have 6
Town
candidates for
council.
regular members here,
Yeah.
and nobody for associate.
right. Okay.
And just
All right.
point of information, the Appointments Committee had intended to interview
We
additional
also have
people
additional people who have
that are
applied,
actually
so-
scheduled to
This is
come in,
going to
as
be
I said, at
interesting.
the bottom of.
Okay,
Yeah, more
to
people
final
than we have.
clarify the West Barnstable Council's statement just then, I moved to strike the final nomination that is written, because as it's written, Mr. Norman is nominated as an associate member.